So just before we went on tour in February of 2020, we'd written a couple songs. One was a very bare bones version of what's now Clarity. The other was Things Will Get Better.
Things Will Get Better had been written for probably about a year and it had not changed much at all in that. It pretty much was written, a few minor tweaks to like the guitar parts, and then it stayed as that.
We played that during the Misery tours, I believe, before we had even like decided we were doing the meaning stuff.
While it was similar to older tracks we'd done, such as Powerless, and it was a bit more of a ballad and whatnot, it showed that we could write something a bit more heartfelt, a bit different basically. You know, we weren't just a metal band, we can also do a few other things too, while still retaining each member's personality on their own instrument. But with Jack having the crazy tapping parts, Troy and Gavin chugging away, and I just get to put my signature little spin on the vocals. That was a great song, and we're very, very proud of that song.
Meaning, that was like, it's the biggest challenge that we've ever taken on as a band.
Well, the Meaning series was quite an interesting kind of formative period for us, since when we were approaching the first Meaning was just when the first lockdown was happening. We were kind of presented with a very unique opportunity that we could kind of take a step back and just focus on songwriting and really think about what we wanted the direction of the band to be.
But I don't think at that point we knew exactly what it was going to be. But I think over probably first couple of weeks of lockdown and decided, right, we don't want to do an album, we'll do a 2-part EP.
We wrote a lot of songs for Meaning Part 1, a few that we threw out. We fought really hard with some of them. We kept changing sections and we kept adding pieces and changing pieces in the lyrics and whatever. And it was difficult because every member had to learn how to record themselves.
So that was our first time all recording and writing like totally separately. We didn't see each other for like a year, really.
Something I'd actually wrote. That's probably the first full-on decent song that I wrote. I was proud of and ended up using that. That song got completely turned on its head about 3 times from pretty much what I'd wrote. I suppose really, for me anyway, that song's kind of where the whole half stupid riffs, half pop stuff comes from anyway, because the song that I wrote was complete riff. It was just riff central all the way through. And Ian was like, right, I want kind of my twist on it. So he chopped it up, gave it the intro. That vocal hook was probably one of the last things to go on it. And it's probably one of the best things of the song.
We had a plan to do a 2-parter, and one part was going to be very much written from the heart, and the other was to be written from the mind, so sort of a in-the-moment perspective of the things going on in the world, and then after the fact, an afterthought where you've really thought about it.
Yeah, no, it was a massive challenge getting it all done. Like, it was kind of finding the motivation to like get it done sometimes, but like the end product was absolutely worth it.
It's a totally different beast from going to sitting in someone's living room and being like, oh, that sounds good, let's put that in, or let's do that, or let's do this, to then being totally separate and working over Discord and just discussing kind of like what we want to do, and then you having to kind of work to that brief that the others have given you.
Rather than just taking what was there, adding to it, and putting that in, I kind of looked at it more from, if I had wrote these parts, what would I do to it?
Kind of left the like perspective of like the Meaning series being like 2 separate distinct parts, and This was more just we wanted to create this body of work because it's the best thing we could produce.
Basically, we felt we had stronger songs and we shouldn't really stick to our concept if the concept was hindering the progress, hindering what the final piece of art could be. But I think sonically the two EPs do go well together, and they do link up the emotions we were feeling about everything.
That idea there is what drove us into Meaning Part 2. So you've got the idea of there, 4 of us do exactly what we wanted to do, but in a more refined way.
So when we approached part 2, we were kind of very mindful of part 1's shortcomings and kind of what we didn't like as much and what we thought part 2 should be.
We said, right, what did we do wrong with 1 that we want to do again with 2, explicitly to do with the music? And the biggest thing I think for all of us was we wanted to just practice and we wanted to sound better.
I close my eyes, I'm back in the room.
When you look at the songs on Meaning Part 2, each individual song has its own genre, really. You can't really look at the whole EP and be like, right, this is straight up metalcore, this is straight up alt rock. Each individual song got something different going for it, genre-wise. Like you look at everything else. That could be like easy. Take away the synths. That's easily like an Emil song or something.
You know, there was more vocal layers, there was more guitar layers, there was a lot more synth going on. We worked with a good friend of ours to help put extra layers of synth in, and he's really inspired me for what we've been writing since.
Like helped us with our songwriting, our ability to just record. Recording is much sharper than it's been.
Well, with Modern Words, like that's probably our most interesting song, to put it lightly, in terms of the way that the guitar's structured and the bass.
And like if you'd asked me a year before, like, oh, would you ever consider writing a song that starts as 1975, ends up with like unprocessed polyphia guitars and ends up on the most stupid breakdown ever, I would be like, no, that was the most stupid ideas ever. I would never want to do that. But then I genuinely think like that is the best guitar work I've done on a song so far.
You can tell that we spent like a good chunk of time on it.
So it's got like your fucking Seinfeld bass lines, and then you've got that ridiculous fucking breakdown at the end.
I can't wait for it to all be like actually out there.
So off camera, Jack has just told us that after he shaves his head, he uses a lint roller to get the hair off.
No, every time when it's when I can't be asked showering or that.
So he says it's just when he can't be asked showering. So instead of showering, he's just fucking ripping the hair straight out his fucking knot with a fucking lint roller.
I just fucking wax my head.
Mate, that's how he gets it so velvety soft.
Mate, I'm gonna smother you with a pillow.
You alright?
He's trying not to cut.
I was trying to hold it down, like.
I really hope that's recorded.
Distance, like shouting at each other across a fucking football pitch or something.
Getting pissed in the car park at the back of Elder.
Yeah, exactly. Getting pissed outside in car parks like fucking 15-year-olds.
Pretty sure every single song I tracked, I put it in my pen drive, take my laptop to the pub, use the pub's Wi-Fi to upload it, and get pissed at the same time.
Why use like this?
What?
Why use like this?
Use a clap.
Use a clap!
Oh.
Nah, that was shite, that was horrible.